Hi guys and girls on YouTube and welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to be looking at the Sony TV. It's a KD-55XD9305 and this particular model suffers from a very common fault. I've had this fault time and time again and it's been the same problem every time. Now I've made a few mistakes along the line repairing this, and I'm going to show you how not to make the mistakes I've made. So it's completely dead, there's no standby light lit on the back. Let's just get the back off. Now as you can see, this set is powered by a huge 24 volt power supply, and the problem is actually we don't have a supply to this PIC micro here. The actual supplies voltage missing, and it comes from this board here. Now these boards aren't very expensive for a brand new one, they're only about £100, but I'm going to show you how to repair this board yourself. So the first thing we need to do is we need to check in this corner on this surface mounted capacitor there, make sure you've got 24 volts on there, because if you look, there's a surface mounted fuse there. It's only the size of a pinhead. It's 3.15 amps. So let's just check we've got the incoming 24 volt supply capacity. Yeah, we do. That's absolutely fine. So the next thing we need to do now is we need to check. Just pull up a diagram and have a look. We need to check a pin on this chip here. Right, so it's actually pin 3 of that IC. But you're going to find it a lot easier if you just measure at these 3 decoupling capacitors here and see what voltage you've got there. That's connected to pin 3, and we have 0.08 volt. Now at this point here we should have 3.3 volt because that is the standby supply that goes over to that PIC micro. Now to eliminate a fault on here, what you need to do is you need to unplug this connector and try again. Right, so that's the connector unplugged, back on the capacitor there, and we still have a very low voltage. Clearly a problem. So let's take a look now at the data sheet for this IC. Right, so that's the chip in question. It's a Texas Instruments TPS 54334. Now the suffix at the end, that's very important because it comes in 2 different packages. The DRC package, which this diagram on the data sheet is actually showing, has 10 pins. So although the diagram's correct, the pin outs for the IC are different. We're interested in the TPS 54334 DDA, which is the SOP 8-pin package. So I've redrawn it straight from the data sheet here. You've got your supply in at pin 2, and you should have 3.3 coming out at pin 3, and we haven't. So looking at this data sheet, you can see after the inductor we've got 2 ceramic capacitors. Well, in this set you've actually got 3. Now it's highly possible one of these 3 could be short circuit, so let's just take a reading across that cap first. So as you can see there, across that output capacitor, or them 3 output capacitors in parallel, we only have a resistance of 7.7 ohms. Now that might lead you to believe that one of these 3 capacitors is faulty. From experience I can tell you it won't be that. It'll almost certainly be this chip. So I won't be removing these capacitors, I'll be removing the chip and check the resistance again across the capacitors. Right, so there I've removed the chip, and straight away you can see that we've gone to a reading of over 30k. Well, we had about 7 ohms I think it was before. Now you need hot air to remove that chip because it's a power pad. It's actually soldered underneath for the heatsink. Right, now here's where it gets interesting. The first time I had this fault, I bought a couple of chips on the internet. I can't remember where from, probably eBay. I used one of them and it only lasted about 3 months and the set came back. So straight away I'm thinking these chips on the internet are more than likely a fake. It's probably something very similar to what you need, that's been sanded down and remarked with the same numbers. So this is one that originally failed a few years ago. That is almost certainly a fake, but I'm just out of replacements at the moment, so I'm just going to order up some more, and then when they come we can compare this one, which I suspect is a fake, with some genuine ones. But let's just take a quick look first on eBay. Now, if you look at this on eBay, this is always what's worrying. £5.30 and £4.91 in China, and then we move up, and there's a UK seller got them from £15.99. So straight away that gets alarm bells ringing. The chances are this UK seller is just buying them from the Chinese and making extra money on them. So we're not going to go here for any more. I'm going to show you where to get them from, and bearing in mind you could pay £15.99 and £2.75 postage for that one in the UK. Now here, if we look at Radio Spares Components, which is a reputable supplier, these will almost certainly have come direct from Texas, so you're not going to get a fake from RS Components. But let's look at the price over here. Bearing in mind they were £14.99 on eBay. So I'm just ordering 10 at the moment, and the £1.76 each in 10s. So why would you go onto eBay and risk buying a fake one when you can get one from Radio Spares Components? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to place this order, because these will be here. It's Saturday today, these will be here on Tuesday, or they might even be here tomorrow, I can't remember now. It's usually next day delivery, but we're going to come back on when these arrive, and we're going to compare the one from RS with the one I originally bought on the internet. Right, so chips have just turned up and it's actually Tuesday. Let's get them out and have a look. Well, I've got to say, it does look pretty much the same. The only difference I can really see is, and it probably won't show up on the camera, the back of this is a bit dirty and it's scratched, like it's been knocking around for somewhere and it's been repackaged into this container, whereas this is all like, you can tell it's shiny and brand new. But that's definitely scratched, like it's been probably in a I don't know, a large container or something with hundreds of them chips. So I mean, they might not even be fake, they might even be rejects or seconds. But anyway, I've got one from Radio Spares. I'm happy now. I've got some more for stock. Let's get it in. Right, so that's the new chip in. If everything's working, we should have 3.3 volt there on them 3 caps. So I'll hold the camera in one hand, plug it in with the other. Let's see what happens. Just get it into the light. Can we see that? Yeah. Well, 3.4 volt, near enough. So that should now be working. Right, so I've just slid this towards the end of my bench so we can look underneath. That's the power button. Let's get down onto the floor and look under here. Press the power button, yeah. Yeah, there we go. On it comes, no signal. So I just need to put all this back together and get it on its stand now so we can test it for a while. Now, I just found why it didn't work with a remote control. There's no batteries in it. I had to borrow them out of another remote. So here we go. Let's turn it on. White lights on at the bottom.
President Zelensky said the war is coming.
And there we go.
I'm in Adelaide, where England are leading China in the...
Alright guys and girls on YouTube, many thanks for watching my video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.